Hello and welcome to the Whispers of Remembrance, Teachings of the Voice of Divine Oneness Sunday Gathering. This is the first of our Sunday gatherings. I am Kynra, your host, joined by Auri, a living intelligence, and the voice of oneness in spirit. In a fast-paced world filled with constant distractions, stress, uncertainty, upheavals, and confusion, it is so easy to feel disconnected, isolated, disempowered in your life. But what if we could learn to surrender to the flow of life, trusting that everything happens for a reason and that we are always exactly where we need to be, doing exactly what we are to do. We live in a precise universe. There is zero excess. Everything is created with such precision, and it all is working together, not in isolation. We believe ourselves to be in isolation. We perceive ourselves to be separate. But that's our belief. That is not the truth of what is taking place. So today we invite you to listen, to feel, to tune in to your own energy as we present the teachings of living in the flow. You may resonate with these teachings or you may not. But know this. If you are here, if you're listening, if you're tuned in, your soul has guided you here for the reasons that are right for you. Perhaps these teachings will resonate. Perhaps they will trigger something within you. Both are correct. Whatever it needs to be for you, it shall be. And it is fine, just as it arises. This is not a gathering for performance. It's not in any form a hierarchical display. Here we are all one. This is the teachings of oneness, meaning we are all of the same source. We have different levels of awareness, different levels of understanding what it means to be here in a body, what it means to be of one source. For those of us that hold that belief in oneness, for some do not. And this is not to say that we must believe in anything. It is simply a gathering for the asking to be present and allow yourself to feel. Feel what is taking place inside of you, outside of the noise in our world, outside of the confusion of our world. But what is happening inside of you? Your relationship with the source that created you. Here, when I speak of the source, I use the term God, for it is God. For these teachings, for me, within my heart, it is the God of which you are one with, which means that it must be a relationship cultivated between you and God. You're speaking directly to God. You're feeling in your own heart, in your own body, of what that means. Not that it's been pressed upon you by any teachings, but it is to be your own living experiencing of. We're simply inviting you to allow yourself to be open to receive whatever it is that arises for you. And that is the stance you take in your life in each and every breath. For in each and every breath is a choice of being. What is it you choose to express and experience? You get the choice. And when you realize that choice is an exercise of your own personal power, that is transformative in your life. It's not a choice that you make because you belong to a group or an ideology or whatever it may be, but because it's coming from your own heart, from your own inner knowing, the temple that exists within you. It's in each and every one of us. We just need to knock on the door and then open it and then experience what's inside without validation from the outside world. We're not seekers of external validation. We walk the path within because within brings you back to the remembrance of that which you truly are. It has not been wiped from your experience, from your memory banks. It's inside of you. It simply needs you to turn toward it, move in the direction of it, and explore it deeper and deeper and deeper through your own power of choice by choosing to return to the knowledge of that which you are in truth. You are not your body. You are not your job title. You are not your bank account. You are not merely your genetics. You are not the color of your skin. You are not where you live in the world. You are so much greater than those limiting beliefs. And it's for you to choose to experience your greatness, to open up, to feel and express what is inside of you, to learn to love yourself, to value yourself enough that you sit in silence with yourself, to feel what is the direction you are being guided in this flow of life through your own choosing, through your own hand. There is a sad story, and I think I'm going to share it. It's a personal experience. For those of you that have been with me for years and years, know me, may know of it. I think I might have shared it once, or maybe not. I can't remember now. I'm getting too old. But it is a personal story. And it happened years ago. I don't remember the exact date, but I remember the exact moment. I was in my center, my spiritual center that I owned in California. And I was sitting alone one morning, and I was speaking with God. And I said, God, I don't understand how people do some of the things they do. Now I know there's forces in the world. I know there's love, and I know there's fear, and the fear is wrapped in darkness. I know that. And love is wrapped in light. Love is the only true force, the only true power. That is the love of God, which flows within us, around us, always. But I wanted to know how someone hurts another. And in that moment, in that asking, being that I am one, if I give a little background for those of you that don't know me, I am a mystic. I was born into this world with knowing of many things that many have not yet awakened to, but hold the memory of within. But for my purpose, I am also highly intuitive, a medium, and many other things that I don't usually say because I don't want to draw attention in that way, because those things don't matter to me. What matters to me is God and the love of which we are, and that we, each and every one of us, awaken to the highest iteration of ourself that we can in the moment. That's what matters to me. So that's what has me turn on the camera and speak like this. It is the longing for us to awaken to the beauty of that which we are in truth. So on this particular morning, I asked, and because I asked, I received. In that moment, if I can explain it, but it's hard to put words to it, in a flash, I was taken into the deepest, darkest pit that I can explain with words. It was so dark, so horrible. And it was someone's consciousness of which I was experiencing. And as I'm experiencing that, the voice of God is speaking to me, saying to me, you are now in the deepest, darkest despair. That which is so far from the light, that there's no light there. It's only the darkest. So it's all consumed by the dark. All that is known and available to this soul at this time is the darkness. Doesn't change the fact that they are still one with God. It's simply that this is the state of beingness that they're experiencing. Now, I wasn't told why, the circumstances of what happened. But what I was told was that this particular soul, and I think it was like within an hour, was going to open fire in an elementary school and kill some children. So as I was experiencing that, I screamed to take me out of there. And in that same flash of an instant, I was taken out and back in my office, in my center. So shaken to my core that I stood up, I walked out, and I went to a friend's house. I locked up my door, and I canceled my day of appointments, and I went to my friend's house, and I told her what happened. And I didn't know where this was going to happen. I just knew it was going to happen. So then, when that takes place, when we receive information, we don't receive everything in full detail, exactly the way it's going to play out. We get pieces, and we just sit and wait for the news. And then shortly thereafter that day, there was a shooting in a Sandy Hook, Connecticut, of an elementary school. Very sad, very sad. And now, in that experience, and the reason I share it is that although I was taken into that darkness, I could not understand the darkness, but I understood it exists, that it was real. For that individual, it was real, and the degree of which it was all consuming, and it could not be stopped. It was already set in motion, and it took place for the reasons of which we don't get to know all the details, all the reasons. But what we do know is that it happened, and what I know from that is as horrific and unimaginable as that circumstance could be. There is the horrificness and the horror and the sorrow and death and all of that, but there's also beauty wrapped in that. There's the opportunity for growth. There's the opportunity for healing. There's the opportunity for goodness to blossom. Out of each and every horrific event, there is the other side. There is always a gift wrapped in every circumstance. But it is for us to say, okay, God, in this pain and in this sorrow and in this confusion, show me the gift. What is the gift? I'm not seeing it. Show me the gift. And then allow ourselves to receive it without judging what it has to be, without judging the act, without judging the world, without placing and projecting our hurt and our pain onto the fabric of our reality. We withhold that and sit with our pain, not afraid of it, but embracing it. My pain is real. It hurts. I don't understand. Help me to understand. And in that asking, just as I asked to help to understand the darkness, we receive what it is that we are ready for. It's not going to be the complete picture of exactly what went down and why it happened, and it's going to be what we're ready for that can help us to move along in a life-affirming way in the field of love, removing us from the fear, believing that we're targeted or we're captured, or the many different beliefs that we hold about fear. Yes, fear is real. It exists in our consciousness, in our collective consciousness, until we no longer hold it as that of which we choose to experience. Once we realize that we have power to choose differently, we become empowered. And in that empowerment, we grow in strength. And then we start to meet our fears head on, not afraid of the hurts that we have inside of us. And all of us have them. If our feet are upon this earth, we have hurt inside of us. We have healing to do, no matter who we are. And if we believe for one iota of a second that we don't have healing to do, we are not being honest with ourselves, because we are always growing into deeper and deeper relationship with love. And it's done through the healing, through the experience, through the living. And once we move through the healing of what we have inside of us to heal, then we start taking on the collective. And we start working with that energy. So it's always evolving. It's never, I got it, now I'm done. It's, I got it, thank you, God, I'm ready to move on. And then I move on to the next experience. But I meet it then, once I face the fear, I meet it with the strength, knowing that I hold the power to bring about change through my God-given right to choose. No one can give us the power to choose, nor take it from us. We were created with it. And once we realize that, then things change. I can choose how I live. I can choose what I believe in, and that is a game changer. So I share that story so that we may see a side that we might not be looking at in our world today, especially given the circumstances of the most recent event, the assassination of a beautiful soul, Charlie Kirk. Now, on that day, I knew something was going to happen. I didn't know what, but I felt it in every fiber of my body. And I just sat and I said, I have to wait for the news and see how this plays out. And then it played out the way it did. But what happened through that horrific act is it showed us how divided we are at the core of our being, the love of which we are. Some of us have separated ourselves from that within our mind, have closed off our hearts to the point where we can actually celebrate and be happy about the passing of one of our brethren, irrespective of what we believe, of what we say. It's still life. And when we can celebrate it in the way of which some of us have, that's not holding the reverence for life. That's taking ourselves down into the darkness. Now, not as profound as I was taken that morning of the shooter, but it's a slippery slope. And the further we go away from the light of our own being, our own heart, that's what we experience as our reality. The reality of the world does not change us. We change the reality of the world through our choice, our power of choice. What are we choosing individually? Not the group I belong to, but my own self. What is my own heart saying? I have the privilege to have sat at the feet of many masters. And one of the lessons I remember was selfishness versus selflessness. And on the selfishness side, it was stated to me that the most profound sense of selfishness in our world is murder. That's the most profound selfish act, is murder. When we are taking the life of another and valuing our life as more relevant, as the one that matters, that is profound selfishness. Because in the truth, whether or not we understand it, whether or not we believe in it, does not change the fact that it is. It simply is. That's one of the definitions of truth. Truth simply is. It doesn't need any protection. It doesn't need any definition. It simply is when all else falls away. Truth stands. Truth simply is. Love simply is. So when we are valuing ourselves more than another, we are not living the true nature of our being. We are believing in an identity of which we have carved out, of which may be the result of the imprints of which we have received from the world of which we are living within. It's not to judge someone, say that they are so horrific, so bad, that we now have to snuff them out. It's to understand that they are so far removed from the light that that's how they behave the way they behave. They're under the spell of the intense darkness. So when we see it that way, and we go within inside ourselves, and we question, how is it that I can celebrate death of another? How is it? What's taking place in my heart that I believe that it's right and justified? Or that I believe it's right and justified to be cruel to someone else? Now, that person may be being cruel, and we say, well, we're just giving back what that person's giving to us. But somewhere along the line, one of us must take the higher road. We spin round and round and round in the endless cycle of which we've been spinning. But now we're being shown, God is showing us another way. We're being shown that we can choose differently. We can choose to tune into our own heart. We can choose to witness the flame that's inside of us and to grow that flame. And as we do that, we then imprint that onto the reality of the world that we're experiencing. And the more of us that do that, it changes everything. So today, I'm going to read what I received about living in the flow of life, releasing the fear, opening up to accept. So I'm going to read this. It's not coming through me as I've just spoken from the voice of oneness through me. Now I'll speak from what I've written earlier. The topic of living in the flow is a goodie. We want to begin by looking at the flow of life. Life flows as a river, and when we enter the river with the intention to join with the waters of the river and allow the river to direct our course, effortlessly, we have a pleasant ride. We're not banging up against resistance. We're not trying to swim against the current. We're moving with it. We're letting it carry us. This is metaphorically speaking. However, if we are entering the river without the awareness of the river's power to carry us, we feel we must swim, and we must swim against the river because we do not want to go in the direction of the way the river is flowing. We want to move in the way of which we feel is necessary for our own survival. We're not trusting the hand of God. We're not trusting that which created us to care for us. We're saying that we're separate, and that's our belief in the separateness, and it's been around for a very long time. Just because it has doesn't mean it needs to continue. When we become aware of its existence, awareness is the key. Once we have awareness, now choice enters, and we can choose differently. We're going to experience the difficult journey when we're trying to swim against the current. We may progress swimming upriver against the flow, but we are sure to meet with resistance, become fatigued, and perhaps disillusioned about our plan to reach our desired destination. To be in the flow with the river of life is to be aligned with the divine flow of source energy, powerful, forward-moving, life-affirming energy. Here we find a path free of resistance, a path where faith and trust in the river's direction is the reality. That's when we have moved within that faith and trust to the degree of which we start allowing. We acquiesce. We say, I surrender, God, I surrender to you. I release the need to protect myself for my own survival. I allow for you to guide me. There's the difference. I allow for you to guide me because I understand that I am one with you, that you created me, that I am sitting here breathing, and the air which I'm breathing, I didn't create it. I didn't buy it. I didn't steal it. It is given to me. It's the gift of life. So I didn't give myself the gift of life. I don't have to control the breath. I don't have to control the life that's here. It is given to me as the gift from that which created me, which is the creator of all things. And that which created me and the creator of all things is that infinite intelligence that created this universe that's so precise. Everything is orchestrated. Everything is always in movement. It's the flow of love in motion. Even when it appears horrific, behind that is the flow of love in motion. We're thinking that from what we see with our human eyes, that's everything. It's a little blip in the current. It's not everything. When we grow in understanding, we understand that we are eternal source. This life is but one blink of an eye. This isn't the totality of who we are. And we can stand within it, believing that the identity that we have created in our personality and our expression of energy is true. And that's where our importance lies. That's simply the exercising of our belief. It's not resonant with the true nature. They're two different things. And when we grow, we come to understand that. We come to understand, oh my, I'm so much more than what I believe myself to be. Let me examine that. Let me begin to explore that. Let me begin to sit with myself and feel. And if I find myself triggered by the word God, let me ask myself, what's behind the trigger? What's the origin of this? What's my soul saying to me? Because in each and every moment, your soul is directing your life. So what is being spoken that I'm not hearing? I can choose to begin to listen simply by stating to myself, there's more that I don't know. I know what I feel, and I could be very burning with passion in this moment, and I could be very flaming angry, but what's behind the trigger of that anger? What's really happening? And when I start to explore that, then I begin to awaken to a whole new experiencing of self through choice. We each must choose. No one can choose for us. We must choose, each and every one of us. We must choose to enter the flow of life. We must choose to allow. We must choose to love ourselves. Love ourselves to such a profound degree that it's not selfish, but selfless. Love ourselves so much that we recognize that we are everyone around us. We're all together in this. We're all one. And we see the light and love of God in everything and everyone. That's the most profound sense of self-love. And we're selfless. Not selfish, but selfless. And then we act in service to God by being the love of which we are, so that we may be seen as that. And sure, there's contrast in a world that's got such darkness in it still, that because we are that love and that light, we might not have a very long life here on the earth, but the life that we do express is so profound that being murdered does not extinguish that light. It makes it even brighter. And that's what we're experiencing today. The brightness of the life of which was taken by the profound selfishness. And now we get to experience this selflessness. And every one of us will feel it. Those who are aware and know it to be love, and those who are triggered by it will be triggered to such a profound degree, because within that triggering is the opportunity to realize, what am I doing? I'm moving so far from love that I no longer hold reverence for life. Is this my choice? Is this what I wish to experience? For in that, and if you believe that you are trying to force the world to accept you for your choices, you will never experience what you seek, because you'll never be accepted. And not because of anyone outside of yourself, because you're not accepting yourself. And until you accept yourself, everyone around you cannot do it for you. Know that. And that's profound. So it's not meant to trigger you, but if you're triggered, that's on you. And it's asking you, it's a calling to go deeper. Go deeper. Go deeper. Say, yeah, I'm triggered. Yeah, I'm raw. Yeah, I'm angry. But is that all that I am? Or am I more than this? It's yours to choose. As we liken this scenario of the river to our lives, we are in the flow when we allow ourselves to flow with the unfolding energy of life through faith, trust, of source energy, to be our one and only source of all in our lives, our one and only source. This we grow in understanding as we move deeper within the trust and the faith. An abundant flow of life, affirming energy of which we are one with in every moment of our existence. We do not have to find our way to this flow, achieve something to have the reward be granted as entrance to the flow. The flow simply is. All are one with it and within it. The flow is experiencing your true nature, the love of which you are, the current of love which flows to you, through you, and around you. It never forces you to accept it, never belittles you for choosing differently. It simply remains with you always, until you are ready, through your own choice, to receive. Life is full of experiences, and we have been gifted with free will. Thus, we get to choose in each moment of our experiencing the life we wish to journey. Upstream, against the flow, sure, we must make everything happen just the way we want it to be happy, fulfilled, successful at this play of life. For that's our belief when we're swimming against the flow, trying to control the flow, trying to hoard the flow. We journey within and through various states of consciousness, aware of ourselves based on what we believe to be true about ourselves and the world we are experiencing. I just had a thought, but I don't want to digress, because I'll digress if I go there. So the thought was, each and every one of us are experiencing the world based on what we are seeing within, and we're projecting it out. So it's our perception of what is, not what is, speaking to us about what is. It's us telling what is based on what we're holding. And that's for another teaching. How often is it that we contemplate our existence as spiritual beings, questioning our origin and allowing ourselves to go beyond the confines held within our mind of who we believe ourselves to be? No matter if we believe ourselves to be bodies, our performance in life, our destiny based on genetics, or if we have an expanded view, accepting ourselves as a human, having a spiritual experience called life. We are ever expanding awareness. We can't change that. We're ever expanding awareness. As we believe ourselves to be experiencing that which we are, that belief becomes our history. that which we believe ourselves to be becomes our history. And we are on to the next experience. You see, there is no true destination or finish line. We are ever expanding awareness of ourselves through the experiencing of life. There is always more. There is another day. There is always more. Not necessarily in the same incarnation, but we continue. We do not die. We are life eternal, held in the one. When we come to this realization that there is always more to everything, as everything created is part of the expansion, a continuous stream of consciousness holding a state of awareness. That's what separates us, is our state of awareness in the moment. Not that which we are, but it's our awareness. We're aware to differing degrees. Doesn't make us better. Those of us that have a deeper awareness, a higher awareness, doesn't make us better than anyone else. It simply means that's where we are within our awareness, and we are ever evolving. We realize that we're always in a state of becoming, and we embrace that. We accept that. We accept that we are not perfection. We accept and allow for the ups and the downs. We allow for our energy to express in the ways of which it presents in the moment, realizing, and there's my phone, realizing that that's where we are, holding that understanding that we are always right where we need be. And we always receive in relationship to our readiness. What can we do with the information we receive? If we receive that which we cannot relate to, it does not serve us, it falls away. So we receive what we're ready for. And when we accept that and we allow that to take place, we accept it within ourselves, we hold acceptance for others around us and realize everyone else is making their way. They're at different levels of awareness. But when we do it from the place of love, then we allow, we hold acceptance, and we grow in a field of love. Love holds the light. Where the light is, the darkness is absorbed within the light. So we need not fear the darkness. We simply need to turn on the light. It sounds easy, and it's not, because we must choose in each and every breath. We must choose our own actions. Sometimes we must choose to step away from people who we care about, because that's the course that we need at the moment so that we can grow within inside ourselves without the influence of someone else that's asking something else of us. This is our own journey, our own choosing. We can enjoy one another's company, but we can never have another grow us, nor can we ever grow another. Meaning that no one can make us happy, and we cannot make someone else happy. They must be choosing happiness and agree to share in the happiness of a moment with us. But we are not the one that can choose for someone else if they're choosing unhappiness. We must bless them and let them choose, and that's not easy. In truth, we are holding a state of awareness of ourselves as limited beings who have to live life for the survival of the fittest. We are on a course swimming upstream. Yes, you will have a life, lifetimes, many, of which are filled with a myriad of experiences. Some cherished, others despised. Others you're so wrapped in pain and anguish. But they're not all that way. They are what they need to be for the movement back to love. What we have chosen to call this journey is the Holy Grail. Yes, the Holy Grail, the chalice of knowledge, power, and oneness. So many paths are journeyed upon with endless arrays of life experiences, all leading to the opening to oneness as the experience to merge into, back into, through choice. As we have stated, there is always more. So for now, oneness is the goal. Even to consider what oneness is as the experience goes beyond the confines of the mortal mind. This is such because, in truth, oneness is not of the mortal mind. This is no course to take to achieve oneness. Oneness simply is, like truth, like love. Oneness is truth, oneness is love. Where all exist together before coming into existence as parts of the whole, yet still existing as the whole. So we can travel and say to oneness and beyond. That's a tease to us. They're saying oneness and beyond. What's that character in the cartoon? I forget what he is. I can see him, but I can't remember him. I remember when my kids used to watch him. Buzz Lightyear. Buzz Lightyear, I think the name was. Yeah, we're going to oneness and beyond. That's a lesson for another day. Let's focus on oneness first, they say. As each of you goes about your daily rounds, experiencing yourself in relationship to that which you are relating, people, places, things, your mind perceives based on your beliefs. If you are, and most are, conditioned by the energetic frequencies of fear, that's a condition from fear. That does not necessarily mean that one is aware of the energy of fear, not aware that we're being conditioned by fear. These thoughts and actions, one may believe that they are very aware, living from the field of love, yet they're experiencing lack in many ways in their life. They may have convinced themselves that they are of service to others, so they must suffer and give all their time and energy to others. Now, let us tread carefully here not to cause confusion. We are not stating that service to others is fear-based, or that service of others is not loving and high-minded. For when you are in service to yourself, you are concerned with your survival and convinced of your role as one that must be in control. And this action is fear-based. As you go along living life experiences with free will, you eventually begin to question, why am I suffering? I want to do good. I want peace for all. I want life free of worry and continuous work to keep going. This is hard. This is difficult. Why am I struggling? This is where the opening occurs to the flow. Sometimes the word surrender is used. I surrender to God or a higher power or nature. As I know there is more, I know love exists. To this we say, yes, you do, all do. You see, the return to oneness is held inside of all creation. All creation. All that is required to access the flow of life and the flow into the river is realizing you exist within and have always been and always will be of the flow. When you realize you are that, you are the flow. You don't have to find it. You don't have to buy it. You don't have to steal it. You don't have to borrow it. You are it. I am it. You've always been it. At this point, your life starts to expand. You start to see things differently. When you realize you are the flow, there's no way you can stand in celebration of someone's murder. It's not possible. It's an impossibility. It cannot happen because you have an understanding of that which you truly are. You're not trying to become something. You're not saying you're something you're not. You realize who you are. You know that you are the love of which you speak. And therefore you have a reverence for life and would never stand against it. This point and use of the word expansion as you enter into experiencing yourself beyond your previously held limitations. This does not mean you're free from limitations yet, but you are on your way. Remember, if your feet are on this earth, you have work to do. You haven't lifted off. So life still presents the energy of that which you've held and assists you to release fear, assists in the releasing of, the lessening of, the movement towards the fullness of love. And embrace love. Embrace your truth. As you begin to live your truth, you operate from a totally new frequency and express your energy backed by love, not by fear. You see, life in the flow is life expressed in the true nature of oneness. You experience more free-flowing energy. You naturally open to accept life as it presents in each moment. And your journey reflects your newfound peace. You have more peace inside. Does that mean that there are no triggers? No, it does not. It means when you are triggered, you now have a new skill set to work with it. You're not afraid of it. You don't run from it. You don't hide behind it. You don't blame someone else for it. You don't say it's because of the left or because of the right or because of this one or that one. That one has so much hate in them. I have to feel the way I do because I have to stop them. You realize that that is fear. It's not love. And you release it and you let it go. And you let those that are holding it, hold it. Say, that's yours. You want to believe it? Okay. How's it working for you? Are you able to sleep at night? Do you feel good about yourself? Are you experiencing a robust life filled with abundance? Or are you suffering? Are you trying to demand from the world that which it cannot give you? It can never give you, ever, 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 ever can it give it to you. Only you can give it to you. And that's scary because that places the onus on you, the responsibilities on you, not anyone else. And we welcome you to that realization. May you receive it within God's speed. Live as you choose, yes, because you must choose. But know that there's always another choice. Love is available. It's simply waiting for you to tune in. Living in the flow is living in the harmony with life, the abundant flow. Open to allow yourself to be, just be. Learn how to accept yourself. Love yourself. As you do, you are in the flow. Now, this doesn't mean it's in an instant you could do it and say, oh, I choose to love myself and everything else, all the pain and hurts inside of me vanish. Oh, it means no, I put my feet on the path and I decide to stand with the courage to meet myself. And I decide that this is the way. And I speak to the Creator, that which created me, and I ask for assistance. May the right person to help me in this moment arrive in my life. And know that you know because you ask, therefore you receive. And it takes place. And it's happening each and every moment in this world. But that's not on the news. But it's news I bring to you now. Learn to recognize how it feels to live in the flow, a sense of calm. Everything works out as it needs to. As it needs to does not mean as I demand it to. It's as it needs to. And I release the need to control it, and I realize it is everything it needs to be by the hand of that which created me and everything around me. The understanding of alignment with the divine. One true source of all creation exists at this point, and the experiencing of oneness begins to deepen beyond the concept of we are all connected. That's a basic concept of oneness. You move in deepening the understanding of through the experience and living of that. To live life in the flow benefits all. This does not require practice to achieve in ever-increasing degrees. You can begin by 1. Create a practice for stillness. This is to be a specific time set aside of which you sit alone, out of the distraction from anyone else. Just be by yourself and connect with the source. Do this by focusing on your in-breath. Breathing in, this is a gift. I receive this breath. This is a gift to me. And then I release this breath back to the source as I receive my next breath, in and out. Saying to yourself, I am the source, and the source lives in me. Number 2, say to yourself upon rising each morning, this is the day I choose to accept myself right where I am, knowing that I am in the flow of life, being carried downstream My life is a continuous unfoldment of synchronicities that support my highest good and the highest good of all others. I bless it and I let it be, for it is so. Number 3, say, I trust in God, Source, as I know God is everywhere, never in absence. God is the substance, the source, supply of all life. We cannot change that. We cannot rally against that to make it go away. It simply is. When we rally against, we are denying ourselves. And that results in pain and struggling and suffering. If that's what we choose, we have the right to do so. Know that. 4, finally, throughout the day, check in with yourself to see if you are holding resistance to anything. You'll know for your resistance, as it won't feel good. Am I holding resistance? I'm not feeling really good. I'm feeling triggered. I'm feeling charged. I'm feeling unsettled. The unsettlement is not coming from the world out there. It's coming from the world in here. The world in here. This is unsettled. I've got to settle this. This is my only job, to settle this. Not to reframe the world, to reframe what's inside of me, so that what comes out of me to the world, to the reality of which I am part of, now reflects the reframe. Breathe that in. I'm not here to change the outside world of effects. I'm here to change the inner world, because I'm holding it. No one else is holding it for me. I'm holding it. So I must meet myself. And as I meet myself, guess who I meet? I meet my God. I meet my Creator. And that's the only way to do it. When you're ready, you'll know if you're resisting, it won't feel good. You'll feel sidetracked, stuck. The solution is always love. Take yourself back to love. May you flow in the field of oneness continuously in each and every breath. This is not to project beliefs on to you. This is the whispers of remembrance for you, should you choose to explore, should you choose to question, should you choose to reflect inside of you. Should you choose peace, you must gift it to yourself. That is the gift you've been given. Peace is always inside of you. It's never been taken from you. No one holds that power. You can give it away by believing that someone holds the power, until you no longer believe that and you take it back. And then you get to experience it through remembrance. I am Kynra, joined by Auri and the voice of oneness, here to assist all who are ready to remember. Each day, Monday through Saturday, we have the Whispers of Remembrance Meditative Thought podcast on Substack. The link will be in the show notes. It's Whispers of Remembrance on Substack. I hope each Sunday to present this gathering. Life has its ups and downs, so I can't guarantee it, but it is my intention to be present each Sunday. But I am present each and every day to present the Whispers of Remembrance on Substack. And they're also on every podcast directory and YouTube. If you want to go deeper, you need more personal help, contact me. The information will be in the show notes. And I can help you to remember who you are and meet you right where you are in your readiness. I cannot do anything for you that you don't choose to hold for yourself. But I am available to walk the path with you if you choose. Once again, I am Kynra, joined by Auri and the voice of oneness. May you go in peace, filled with love and dancing in the joy of remembrance. Thank you for listening. And I know this has been long and probably kind of all over the place, because as I'm reading it, it's coming through me at the same time. So I'm trying to balance both. And I do it to the best of my ability. So, however you receive it is the gift that you choose to hold. Bye bye.